is ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour with me, Sabana Izoku. The American celebrity website that listed President Goodluck Jonathan as the 6th richest African leader has removed his name from the article on the top 10 richest African leaders. This was after the presidency threatened to sue the website and other publications that picked the story. The presidential spokesman, Ruben Abati, had insisted that Jonathan's net worth is a far cry from the $100 million mentioned on the website and demanded a retraction, or the US-based medium should prepare for a legal battle. In response, the online publication has deleted the Nigerian president from the list and attributed the information it used to CelebrityNetWorth.com, which has a page devoted to President Goodluck Jonathan. The U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, James Iswasil, has debunked media reports that America was not doing enough in helping Nigeria to contain the terrorism in the country. Iswasil debunked the notion on Thursday at a news conference in Yola, the Adamawa state capital. He said the U.S. government was heavily involved in supporting Nigerian government response to Boko Haram menace. He revealed that the support to Nigeria in many forms, including training of soldiers and information sharing on his perception of Boko Haram. The ambassador said he was not sure of the group's objectives, but observed that the dreaded terror outfit had gone beyond being a small insurgent group with a couple of guns to a very effective collection of conventional force. The envoy, who was in Adamawa to monitor the suspended October 11 governorship by-election, held talks with Adamawa Interfaith Committee, a non-governmental organization. He also visited American University of Nigeria, Yola, where he delivered a lecture to staff and students of the institution. Political thugs believed to be supporters of Minister of State for Education, Nyesom Wike, on Thursday beat up members of the People's Democratic Party opposed to his gubernatorial ambition in Rivers State. This was at the venue of a meeting of all aspirants called by party's leadership in Abuja. Security operative also had a hectic time controlling the crowd, which converged on the party's presidential campaign office, with placards expressing opposition to Wike's ambition.
Protest letter we wrote to the South-South Integration Committee. I came as a gentleman. When I was making to the hall, I saw the goons of Nyesom Wike, Wanosike, Odiari Prince Will, and others. They were stopping people. And I asked them, what is your duty? We came to present our position. We are presenting our position. We came to defend here. They said we will not enter. Meanwhile, every person from River State, they push the person inside, come inside. Professor Wate, they said he's an APC person. Chief Begumbos came here. They molested him, assaulted him, pushed him down. Lole came here, pushed him, collected money from him, Izan. Sadiq came here. Every member that come, they have embarrassed. I did not know. I was just coming from the IT interview. So I went straight to the gate. And before I know, I told them I identified myself as the lawyer to KUF and NDDG. And can you imagine what Nigerian police under the employment of orders of Wike did to my eye. Me, a lawyer, Wike knows me.
Chronicling all the problems in River State. Move that from me and manhandle me. Not only me. All the leaders of River State who are not supporting Wike, we are all molested, all beaten. Some of their stalls removed. Now what is the implication is they want violence. Violence is against the and violence is taking place right in the doorstep of the party executive council. And therefore, we are asking PDP that what they say is not reconciliation. What they are doing today is to tear the party apart. And our fear is, if this continues, PDP will fail in Rivers. If they go ahead to install Wike and the Quere man to succeed, Rivers people will use their vote to vote out PDP. PDP is my party. I'm a foundation member of PDP. From day one till today, I'm a PDP member. I have worked hard to install governors, deputy governors, senators, House of Rep, and other officers. But today, the way the party is going, PDP will fail. So, Mr. President, the John Nation will rise against him. This operation will take place in River State. I am a John leader, and I will raise the to tell the John Nation that this injustice cannot happen in River State. And if he allows that, the John will rise. He will cut. We will be no oil supply again in River State. People produce 46% of the oil in River State. And 60% of the gas. The oil will stop. If you don't want us to rule our state, they have a right to accuse the North why they are oppressing us. If they allow Iwike to change Amechi, it shows that there is no vacancy 2019. It means Jonathan will not do what another South man. And that will not augur well for Nigeria. So let them do justice, or River State will vote against Jonathan.
Governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have been celebrating an addition to the rank with the swearing-in of Bala Ingilari as the Adamawa State Governor. Chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State told State House correspondent in Abuja that the judiciary has again proved itself in the country, describing Ingilari's swearing-in as a win-win situation for the party.
Ingilari is a PDP. Yes. It's not an opposition. And what it means is that I must always congratulate the president for being a president who upholds the rule of law and who has respect for the judiciary. Because this was a judicial pronouncement. And of course, the federal government has been known worldwide for upholding the rule of law. So what happened in Adamawa for me is a function of the fact that we must always give respect to judicial pronouncements and respect the judiciary. But the interesting part of it is that it is a family business for the PDP, because Ingilari, the current governor, was of course the deputy governor who refused to defect to the APC because of his belief in the PDP. He stayed with the PDP, and he did not defect to the opposition. So I think in coming back as the governor of Adamawa State, he's coming back as a PDP governor. He's not coming back as an APC governor.
In his first official function as governor of Adamawa State, Bala James Ingilari received a delegation of National Reconciliation and Integration Committee of the People's Democratic Party at Dugeri Government House, Yola. The committee was led by former Senate President Ken Nnamani. He emphasized the need for reconciliation and integration of members who have either left the PDP and returned or fresh members.
See a new position as a call to duty to unify the party even than before. Let our party be stronger in this state under your leadership. And we wish you success in the onerous task before you turning your state around, transforming your state, laying down strong infrastructural development for your state, from which a lot of industrial activities can start taking place. We wish you well.
Responding, Ingilari thanked the committee for their visit and promised that nothing will stand in the way of the PDP and the government house in 2015.
One of the things I'll pursue the issue of reconciliation and integration. You know, it is understandable. Well, you see, the diversity and the complexity and the too many people that are in PDP and that wish to come in, there's really a need to reconcile and give everybody hope, you know, and because like philosopher, somebody once said, you know, leadership is about the marketing of hope. A leader is a dealer in hope. You cannot talk about giving hope unless you are able to sit with people and say, yes, you have space. And only PDP can guarantee space for everybody in Nigeria. But there are no two ways about it.
Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola and his Kano State counterpart Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso have both come down hard on what are described as a brazen disregard for the judicial arm of government, which was best exemplified by the recent attack on the courts in Ekiti State by hoodlums and continued closure of the Ekiti State High Court complex in Ado-Ekiti. While delivering a lecture in Ado-Ekiti on the role of law in governance and development, Fashola says the level of impunity by politicians is a dangerous trend which must be challenged, a thought echoed by Musa Kwankwaso. Rashid was there and filed in this report.
The level of compliance to law has widely been accepted as being commensurate with the level of development in nations. Speaking on the role of law in governance and development, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says the brazen attack on the judiciary in Ekiti is an example of the impunity of people in authority and those who hope to benefit from the judiciary treating it with disregard.
It is a governor who approves and appoints the chief judge with the concurrence of the House of Assembly before the chief judge is also sworn in now by the governor before he or she can begin to act. And it is curious if somebody who wants to benefit from such a process is also undermining that process.
Fashola says the disregard of the nation's law by the PDP-controlled central Fashola says the disregard of the nation's law by the PDP-controlled central government and its habit of providing poverty for Nigerians while exporting employment and the nation's wealth should be condemned by all well-meaning Nigerians.
Country, we are taking jobs away from here, and to reinforce the fact that once we turn away from law, only few will benefit. That's why you will see that several thousands in a state will nearly kill themselves, and even some kill themselves in order to partake in an advertisement of no more than 5,000 jobs across the whole of Nigeria.
Speaking in the same vein, Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso says he is saddened by the invasion of the Ekiti State High Court in Ado-Ekiti, but also urged the Ekiti State Judiciary to fight for itself through the use of the law and its proper implementation.
The level of desperation is so much that people are really concerned about what has happened. And I believe at the end of the day, something is likely going to happen, especially from the side of the judiciary itself, because at the end of the day, probably they will take certain actions that will discourage such action in the future.
On the current challenges facing the nation, Kwankwaso put all the blame firmly on the doorsteps of the federal government while expressing optimism that 2015 elections will bring about the required change for the country.
Nobody, I believe, except very few who, for one reason or the other, are benefiting from the monumental corruption that is happening in this country, and also some hawks that are in Abuja who are also benefiting from the challenges that this country is facing. And therefore, we are so happy that progressive people have come together in this country to ensure that the federal government of Nigeria, come 2015, by the grace of God, will be captured by APC.
The Kano State Governor had earlier, as part of his visit, opened the newly rehabilitated Ire Bricks factory for commencement of operation. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress says it won't be part of the convention slated for Akure, the Ondo State capital. That comes up after the break. Find out more.
Glad to have you join us another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
Until the end of our time as the legitimate authority to govern this country.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Welcome back to the news. For more information, you can look into our website www.coretvnews.com, facebook.com/CoreTV News. Better still, our Twitter handle @CoreTVNewsNG. You can also watch us on our YouTube and other programs, youtube.com/CoreTV, with a space and the news. The Nigerian Labour Congress is insisting that any resolution taken at the National Convention of the Labour Party would not be binding on organised labour. A top official of the union, Uchenna Ekwe, told CoreTV News in Abuja that the Nigerian Labour Congress and its Trade Union Congress counterpart won't be part of the convention slated for Akure, the Ondo State capital. He explained that the defection of the governor, Olusegun Miko, and the Ondo State executives of the party to the PDP rendered the initial plan unattainable.
Subsequently, the National Working Committee changed the date of the convention to the 11th of October, which to us is not a good process, because if there be any need for a shift, the organ that has the power to do so is the neck of the party. That is one. Secondly, after the NEC meeting that fixed the convention and chose Akure in deference to the governor, some new developments have happened, which included the governor decamping to join the People's Democratic Party with all the elected members of the Labour Party in Ondo State. Having done that, it is our considered opinion, we in the NLC and the TUC, who are joint major stakeholders in the party, the conditions and the reasons for moving the convention to hold in Ondo was no more tenable. Our position is clear, and it will not be binding on the TUC.
The organised labour and its civil society partners have vowed to boycott the National Convention of the Labour Party slated for October 11th if party officials go ahead with plans to hold it in Akure, Ondo State. The resolution was presented at a joint press briefing at the end of a stakeholders meeting in Abuja. The Labour movement, which considers itself as an integral bloc in Labour Party, wants the convention postponed in order to maintain its independence.
Whatsoever, we know exactly what we are doing, and it is because we have gotten to a point where we will not sit down and watch the independence of a political party like Labour Party is being undermined. We must rise up to the challenge to make sure that a Labour Party will continue to stand on its own. Nothing stops political parties from going into working alliances, but not making a Labour Party an appendage of any political party for that matter.
We want to inform all members of the movement that within the next 48 hours, a more robust program of action will be unveiled onto when and where the next convention will hold.
So it is only when we understand what they are looking for. But don't miss this point. The Labour Party was formed by the unions. Clearly. Dan was put there without contest. Go and sit down here. So he can't behave as if he contested the election with anybody. If he did, let him mention it. So, and it's unfortunate that this time around he's sounding this way. But we have to reclaim this party for the interest of Nigerians.
Solidarity forever.
The national leadership of the Labour Party is, however, not moved by organised Labour's threat to boycott the National Convention. It also questioned whether individuals or groups threatening to shun the convention are actually card-carrying members of the party. Outgoing party chairman Dan Iwanyanwu told CoreTV News in a telephone interview that neither NLC nor TUC made contributions to the party's growth since its birth in 2004. Has claimed that they publicly backed candidates of other parties in several elections, while Labour Party fielded candidates. Iwanyanwu, however, disclosed that the National Executive Committee of the party would meet on Friday to determine whether to proceed with the convention on Saturday, and claims that he unilaterally fixed the date of the convention. The Labour Party chairman said the party's neck initially set an October 4th date before realizing that it fell on the eve of Eid Kabir. He added that a new date was mooted by the National Working Committee and endorsed by the party's National Executive Committee. And away from that, the Osun State Police Command has paraded a 35-year-old pastor for allegedly being in possession of a human skull. The suspect, Clement Yetunde, was arrested in Modakeke Ife, Osun State, after he had raised an alarm that some unknown spirits were pursuing him. He was said to have personally led local vigilantes to his house where the skull was buried. The pastor claimed that the human skull was kept with him a month ago by one Wasiu, who is now at large. The Osun State Police Public Relations Officer Folashade Oduru therefore asked residents of the state to always be on alert and report any suspicious movement.
Through community police in Clement Yetunde, aged 35 years old, we were able to apprehend and recover exhibits from him this morning at about 8 a.m. Neighbors and the landlord association, they heard a very loud voice from his room. According to them, the noise was too much for them to bear. They have to rush to his residence. Getting to the place, they now found out that Clement was shouting, "This is the head of Iya Osun from Ondo, is pursuing me. The head is pursuing me." They now asked him, "Where is the head?" He said the head is being dug and kept behind his building.
After the break, US-led forces have continued the airstrike against Islamic State. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. The US-led forces have continued airstrike against Islamic State militants near the besieged Syrian Kurdish border town of Kobani. A senior local official said ISIS had been pushed back towards the edge of the town as a result of the strike and advances by the town's defenders. Earlier reports say that the militants had controlled almost a third of Kobani on the Turkish-Syrian border. Turkey has ruled out a ground operation on its own against ISIS in Syria. Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu renewed calls for the creation of a no-fly zone along the Syrian side of the border during talks in Ankara with new NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg. Turkey, a NATO member, also wants to coordinate action against the government of President Bashar al-Assad. This would include preventing Syrian government aircrafts from flying near the Turkish border. Turkey fears that Assad's forces will be the main beneficiaries of an ISIS retreat. It also wants to ease the influx of refugees into Turkey and is under intense pressure to do more to help the Kurdish forces in Kobani. The UN Special Envoy in Syria, Stefani de Mistura, says everything possible has been done to save Kobani, and the town's fall would threaten Turkey itself. Turkish government won parliamentary authorization for possible military actions last week. And that's it on the news on the hour. Do join us at the top of the hour for more. I am Sabena Izoku, and thank you very much indeed for watching.